We know what Chazal say, Kol mi sheyesh lo al hayoim v'doeg al mocho, the one who has enough to live for the day and he worries about tomorrow, arizeh miktane emuno. That means he's lacking in faith, in emunah. Because if he would have enough emunah, complete emunah in Hashem, then he won't worry about tomorrow. Because the same as we don't worry about if we are going to live tomorrow, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who gives life, He gives also what is needed for life. It's not just, I give you life, and that's enough. The rest, you have to bother yourself. Parnose, you have to bother yourself with. And other problems of life, health, you have to bother yourself with. Either Rebbeinu Shel Olam, it's enough. It's enough that I give you life. What do you want more? The rest, you have to bother with yourself. But it is not so. Chazal tell us, Man de yohiv chaye, yohiv mezoine. The one who gives life, he gives mezoines. He gives food, and he gives all the things that are needed for life. And as the famous Mashgiach of Baranovich, Rabbi Yisrael Yankiv Lubshansky, the Eidem of the Altar of Nevardek, gave this moshel, and I heard it from one Moshe Schwab, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha. It's like someone who is carrying his heavy burden on the road. He's having a hard time, and there is a rich man, a Yiddish fellow. He's very good-hearted. He passes him on the road with his carriage driven with horses. And he sees this poor Yid drudging along with his burden. So he stops his carriage and he says, "Hey, Reb Yid, Shalom Aleichem, do you want a lift?" So he says, "Oh, thank you very much. You're very kind-hearted." So he takes his burden and he goes on the carriage, and he goes on. The Gvir goes on. After a while, he looks back to see how he's faring the passenger, and he sees the passenger is sitting with his burden on his shoulder. He didn't bother to put the burden on the compartment baggage on the floor. So he tells him, "What are you doing? Why don't you make yourself at ease? Put down your burden on the floor of the carriage." So the passenger answers him. He says, "Oh no, it's too kind of you. I don't want to trouble you more. It's good enough that you offered me a lift to go into the carriage. I go on carrying my burden." So of course, this man who answers like that means he's a bit not very clever. Not very clever, because doesn't he realize that he doesn't make it lighter or easier or schwerer or harder for the driver, for the horse, if he carries on his burden on his shoulder, or if he puts it on the floor of the carriage. Any rate, if the weight of the burden is on the carriage, any rate. So said the Mashgiach, Zecher Tzadik v'Kodesh Livrocha, Rabbi Yisrael Yankiv. So said he, we think, life, good, thank you for life. But the rest is on my places. I don't want to bother you more. What do you think? And when you do bother yourself with your parnose, when you do run ahin and aher, for this and for that, and for a refuah shleime, and for a shidduch for your kinder, and for parnose and for everything, do you think you are helping me? Says the Rebbe Shalom. Any rate, I'm carrying it all on my plates, on my shoulders. Any rate, it's me who is going to find your job. Any rate, it's me who's going to find you shidduch for your children. Any rate, it's me who's going to give you a refuah shleima. See? And the Chovos HaLevavos says, what is the characteristic of trust in Hashem? Betach el Hashem b'chol libecho. Trust in Hashem with all your heart. Says the Chovos HaLevavos, what is the characteristic of trust in Hashem? That is to have a tranquil mind. Not to worry. To have a tranquil mind. Someone who is very serene, very tranquil. You ask him, what's the problem? No problem. Why? I trust in Hashem. Well, you understand it's a big madrege that. But that is the madrege of trust, of bitochen b'Hashem. And the Chovos HaLevavos says, right in the beginning of Shara Bitochen, this midah, this quality of trusting in Hashem, this is the quality which is the most necessary for a Oved Elokim. For a person who wants to serve Hashem really, honestly, truthfully, this is the most important and necessary quality he has to acquire in life and work on, is to trust in Hashem. Betach b'Hashem v'asei toiv. Trust in Hashem and do good. When will you be able to do good? Always good. Only good. That is, if first you trust in Hashem. Now, on that, I want to ask a question. We find the beginning of Vayetze Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva Vayelech Chorono. There is a medrash, Shir Lamalois Eso Einai Elehorim Me'ayin Yovoi Ezri. This is a very famous capital Tehillim. The one which is always being read in shul when there is Chas v'Sholem, Lo Aleinu Lo Alechem, Echoile, when there is a tzoreh, Chas v'Sholem. Shir Lamalois Eso Einai Elehorim Me'ayin Yovo Ezri. This pasuk says the Midrash, translation, Shir Lamalois Eso Einai, I shall lift up my eyes to the mountains. And Chazal explained that doesn't mean to the mountains. What's the point to lift up the eyes to the mountains? What is there on the mountains? Snow. I mean, for people who want to have a ski, to go to ski. What has it got to do with bitochen? To go skiing. Shir Lamalois Eso Einai El Horim. I shall lift up my eyes to the mountains. Say Chazal, El Horim. El Horim with the comets, and you read it with a cholim. Hoirim, hoirai, my parents, my teachers. Hoirim u'moirim. Yaakov Avinu, David HaMelech said it, but the Midrash says already Yaakov Avinu said this pasuk, said this capital Tehillim, when he was going on his way, running away from Esav, to go to Lavan as his father and mother had commanded him to go and get married there and to escape the wrath of his brother. So he said, I shall lift up my eyes to my teachers, to Yitzchak Avinu, to Avraham Avinu. Me'ayin Yovoi Ezri. From where shall my help come? Me'ayin Yovoi Ezri. From where shall my help come? You know, this question, from where shall my help come, we are always asking, everybody asks that question. From where will I get the money? How will I get a good doctor? From where? Give me a good address. Whenever a person is in a difficulty, we are all asking the same question. It doesn't matter, it doesn't make any difference whether a person is a ma'amin, he has got emunah b'Hashem, whether he is a goy, whether he's a yid, whether he's a Hasidische, a Litvische, Ashkenaz, Hasidish, it doesn't make any difference. That question everybody asks. We're all equal for that question. From where will my help come? What will I do? What will I do when we have got a date line, for example? You know what? So he tells you, this date line, you are going out of your job, chas v'sholom, this date line, I cannot employ you anymore. This date line, finished. He cuts all the support, all the checks. What shall I do then? What will I do then for Parnose? Everybody is asking the same question. And Yaakov Avinu, he also asked that question. And look what he said. Eliezer, Eved Avraham, Eliezer, the slave of Avraham, B'shosh Sheholach Lehovi es Rivko, when he went on the same path, on the same journey, Mamesh, exactly the same road from Beersheba to Aram Naharaim, Lehovi es Rivko, to bring back Rivko as a wife for Yitzchak. Maxi Bey, what is it written about Eliezer? Vayikach o Eved asoro gemalim migmale Adoinov. Eliezer took with him a caravan of 10 camels loaded v'chol tuv Adoinov beyodoi, and all the best things of his master were loaded on those camels. Gold and silver and precious silks and all kinds of nice, sweet things. We can imagine what, if you need 10 camels, there must be something, no? If you need 10 camels, a camel can carry a lot of load. Asor gemalim. Ani, but me, loy neze mechod. I do not have in my pocket not one ring. Velo tzomid echod. Not one bracelet. He had nothing at all. Now he goes to fetch a wife. He goes to find a shidduch. And the shatran asks him, and what is about the nedan? Nidunye? What is mit? You need a house. You need for the chasane. Chatzi. Half. No, when the shatran asks you such a question, what do you answer? So Yaakov was in that situation, said, I'm going to fetch a wife. Eliezer had no problem. He thought he had no problem. Really, Eliezer had big problems. We always make the same mistake. We say, that person is wealthy. He can find shidduchim for his daughter. No problem. It's a big mistake. Eliezer also, we know in the story of Eliezer, he had big problems there with Besuel, didn't he? They wanted to kill him. And any rate, never mind. But it doesn't make the problems of Yaakov easier, that. Sof kol sof, Yaakov has got a big problem. He doesn't have a ring to give for his wife. Areat mikudeshes li, betaba azu, kedas Moshe v'Yisrael. He doesn't have a ring. Like the story of this poor fellow there, I don't want to say it's maybe it's Lashon Hara, the name, that he didn't have a ring and the chuppah. I won't believe it. Never mind. Good, I don't tell you the name. And the Rov there had to give him a tonne gemurah ring. He had bought a ring for him. At the last minute, under the chuppah, he gave him mamish in front of the two Eidim the ring. You can imagine the shame of the Kale. Right, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the main thing she was Mikudesh, Mazel Tov. But for Yaakov, there was not even anybody who gives him the ring there. Who's going to give me the ring? I don't have one bracelet to give her, one ring to give her. And then what did he say? Then he caught himself up again and he said, Mo ano moivid sivri min boiri. Why should I lose hope from the Rebbeinu Shel Olam? Why should I despair from the Rebbeinu Shel Olam's help? Chas v'sholem, leis ano moivit sivri min boiri. I shall not despair from the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. So you see the question and the answer of Yaakov Avinu. Me'ayin yovoi Ezri, from where shall my help come? And the answer, Ezri me'im Hashem, oise shomayim v'oretz, my help shall come from the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. Ezri me'im Hashem. So the question I want to ask, and then he had other problems. The Midrash goes on and says, Al yitein lamoit raglecha, the continuation of the psukim. Al yitein lamoit raglecha, he shall not give your foot to stumble. Al yonum sheimrecha, and your guardian will not sleep. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ine lo yonum velo yishon shoimer Yisrael. You can sleep happily and quietly. Don't worry, let not worries disturb your sleep. Hashem yishmorcho mikol ro me'esav u'milovan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu shall protect you from all evil. That means from Esav, you are running from Esav. He wants to kill you. Don't worry, I'm going to protect you from Esav. You are going to Lavan Arami. Lavan Arami, the swindler. Do not worry from Lavan. Hashem yishmorcho mikol ro. Hashem shall keep you from all evil. Yishmor es nafshecho, he shall keep your soul, mimalach hamoves, from the angel of death. Hashem yishmor tzeischo voyecho, me'ato ve'adoilom. He shall protect your going out and your coming back. Vayetze Yaakov. And the Midrash says, the Pasuk in Mishlei, Kapitel Gimel, Oz telech lo vetach darkecho. When you go on your journey, you shall go with trust and with tranquility, with confidence. Im tishkav lo sifrod. If you sleep on the way, you shall not fear from your enemies. To whom does that apply? Oz telech lo vetach. You shall go on your way with trust and confidence. Ze Yaakov dirsiva yetze Yaakov. That applied to Yaakov. Im tishkav lo sifrod, if you want to lie down on your way, do not be worried, shall not fear, not Esav, not Lavan. V'shochavto, and shall lie down to sleep. Ve'ovosh nosecho, and your sleep will be sweet. Va'yishka ba'mokoi mahu, and we know what kind of sweet dream Yaakov Avinu had. When we say to someone, sleep well, have sweet dreams. But Yaakov was in a situation not to have sweet dreams. He could have had nightmares while he was asleep. Let us try to put ourselves in his situation. He's sleeping in the wilderness. He puts on his head he makes a kind of small hut with stones, one on the right of his head, one on the left of his head, one on top, as if that would make any difference if a lion would attack him while he's asleep. But never mind. The Pasuk says, Oz tishkav lo sifchot, you shall not fear. V'shochavto ve'orvosh nosecho, you shall sleep and have sweet dreams. To whom does that apply? To that Yaakov Avinu, Oz telech lo vetach. Because Yaakov Avinu, when he went on his way, he had full trust in Hashem. Oz telech lo vetach, you shall go with full bitochen in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then you shall not fear anything. And you shall have sweet dreams. And those dreams, not only just sweet dreams, they will be completely fulfilled. That dream will be completely realized. So the question I want to ask here is, we've got a contradiction here. Because if we say that bitochen means not to ask fragnischken kashes, not to ask any questions, to have the tranquility of mind, not to have any doubt, to be completely serene, to be completely trusting in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So how is that Yaakov Avinu asked that question, which really the people who ask that question are lacking in emunah? Kol mi sheyesh lo al hayoim v'doeg al mocho, The one who has got enough for the day and he worries about the future, is lacking in emunah. And here Yaakov Avinu is worrying about his shidduch. I'm going to fetch a wife, and I do not even have a ring to give to my future kale. First find the kale first, and then worry about the ring. He's worrying about the ring. Like someone worries about where is he going to live after the chasne. First he has to find the shidduch. Then you worry about where you're going to live. And here Yaakov Avinu, frek kashes, me'ayin yavo yezri, lo tamid echad, velo nezem echad. I do not have one ring, one bracelet. It seems to be a contradiction here. Os telech lo vetach, he goes on his journeys with complete trust, and what else can we expect from Yaakov Avinu? Bechiro Ovos, the most perfect of all the three of us. Of course, Yaakov Avinu is a complete Baal Bitochen. And we'll see from the rest of the story. Baruch HaGever, Asher Yiftach Bashem, V'hoya Hashem Miftachoi. Blessed is the man who puts his trust in Hashem. And Hashem becomes his support. That will be completely applied to Yaakov Avinu. He starts to love him with nothing in his pocket. When he comes back in the end of the Vayetze, in the end of the Sidre, what do we read? Vayifroi tzoish me'oid me'oid. He became very, very wealthy. Vayifroi tzoish me'oid me'oid. Coming back from Lavan the swindler, who swindled him in the marriage of his daughters. He swindled him in his keeping his sheep, in his job. And after all that, in spite of the Ramos, in spite of the Schwindlerei of Lavan wanted to, as the Pasuk says, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't have protected Yaakov Avinu, he would have sent him away naked. Reikom shelachtoni. You would have sent me away empty-handed after 20 years of. You would have taken back your daughters away from me, and all the sheep I had earned with my sweat and blood. Only because HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to Lavan, and he said, be careful, Lavan, do not speak to Yaakov mitoy v'adro. But he was scared. He didn't touch him. Vayifroi tzoish me'oid me'oid. Vayiloi tzoin rabois v'chamorim ugmalim ushpoches. The Midrash says, count how many flocks did he have. The Midrash says, how many flocks did he have? He had something like, I made the cheshbon, 61 million. If you read in the Midrash, in the end of Pashas Vayetze, just his shepherd dogs, according to one opinion, it's not the same opinion. According to another opinion, just his shepherd dogs were 600,000. One dog for each herd. According to one opinion, he had 600,000 herds of sheep. That's one opinion. But another opinion is, Vayifroi tzoish me'oid me'oid, became very rich. Rabbi Shimon bar Rabba said, Melamed shenifretzo lo pirzo me'ein dugmo shelo ilo mabo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him a breach of the natural things of the world. He made him something extraordinary, above nature, wealthy. Like oilo mabo. Like oilo mabo means, oilo mabo after Trias HaMesim, that means. That kind of wealth which will come in the world after Moshiach, after Trias HaMesim, when things will grow straight away and there will be no poverty anymore in the world. This kind of wealth, this kind of plentiness. Like an example of oilo mabo. And look what he gives a number. Rabbi Abba bar Kahane Omar, Meo v'tarten ribo shivo alofin umosi nedrin. He had 102 revoves, which is 10,000s, 102 10,000s, 102 multiplied by 10,000. How much? Maybe I made a mistake there. 1 million. And 6 million, yeah. Shiva alofinu mosainu, that's not good enough. Edrin, no wait, herds, not sheep. 1 million herds. Now, how many sheep have you got in a herd? Which you need a dog for it. So that was a tremendous wealth. And it says, Rashi said that the sheep of Yaakov Avinu, when they were to be in the market, they reached the highest price. They were the best quality sheep. Rashi says, B'domim Yekorim. He sold his sheep at Domim Yekorim. So we see that Yaakov Avinu Mamish was a complete Baal Bitochen. Because it's easy to say, I'm a Baal Bitochen. Let's see the results. In Yaakov Avinu, we saw the results of his Bitochen, Baruch Hashem. It was Mamid, the 12 Shvatim, Klal Yisrael. And what did he want? When he slept that night and he got up in the morning, what did he make a neder for? He didn't ask for wealth. He said, Imiteini Elohim lechem lehechol ubeket lilbosh. All what I am asking is enough to live. That's all. I just want to be able to live and have my 12 Shvatim and dinan der Rabbeinu shel Olam. V'yu Hashem li lelokim. That's all what he was asking. He didn't ask for millions. He didn't ask for that. Lechem lehechol ubeket lilbosh. So what is he asking a question here? Me'ayin yovo yezri. That's Yaakov Avinu. He was in anguish. He said, he made a comparison. Eliezer, look. Eliezer had a fortune when he went to fetch a wife for Yitzchak. He had 10 camels loaded with gold and silver. And me, I don't even have a ring. But it's against Bitochen that. That's against Bitochen to ask a question on the future and to be worried about the future. The answer, the teretz is a big chiddush, really. That the one who worries about tomorrow doesn't mean he doesn't ask a question. The Baal Bitochen doesn't ask a question. The one who worries about tomorrow, yes, is lacking in emunah. That is, if he asks the question, on bleibt mit der Kasche. He stays with the question. He has no answer. Me'ayin yovo yezri, and bleibt mit der Kasche. Me'ayin yovo yezri, and he stays with the question, from where will I get the money? And he says, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What should I tell you? I have no answer. And he has no answer for himself. Or, even worse, he has got an answer, like the Rishonim have an answer. You need money? I'll tell you what. Hold up a bank. Very easy. You need money? You go and get the money where it is, in the bank. Hold up a bank. He has got an answer. Teretz of the kasha. Me'ayin yovo yezri. We need the money. From where shall we get the money? No. All the Rishonim fill all the prisons. Burglaries. Trafficking drugs. That's for Shalom. Hashem Yatzileinu. Oh, either he has no answer, or he has the wrong answer. But the Baal Bitochen, he also asks the same question. He has got the same anguish. We are all human beings. We all go through pangs of panic, of fear, of anguish. That is human nature. One cannot say, don't worry. Frag nicht kein Kasches. Don't panic. There was a lady with her husband who was expecting a baby in Paris. And from people, she could not sleep at night. She was so afraid when she was coming near the birth. So they came, the husband and the wife. They asked me to speak. She's coming to my shiurim there. So she said like this. She said, at night I'll only think bad pictures I see in my imagination, chas v'sholem, I don't know what's going to happen to me. She had lost her mother, she had lost her mother, her father, one after the other 2 years ago. So that made her a depression, like she sees everything in black. And she cannot help at night but just picture all kinds of calamities, all kinds of tzores, which are going to fall on her. And that itself afterwards, she worries so much that she worries. So it's a vicious circle. So I told her like that. I told her like this. I told her, listen, you should know one thing. Don't try to push away those thoughts. Those thoughts, they are like hunger pangs when you have a good meal to eat. If you've got a good meal to eat, to satisfy yourself, hunger pangs is not a tzore. Hunger pangs, if you have appetite, you've got what to eat, it's very good. Because the more you'll have appetite, the more you'll have those hunger pangs, and the more you'll appreciate the food. You know, the food doesn't taste the same when you're hungry and when you're not hungry. After a Chinese, for example. Yeah? And you get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. It's not the same taste which when you take 5 cups of tea in the day and you're already loaded with food. It's not the same taste. Hunger is a positive thing. But when you have nothing to eat, nebuch, hunger, it's terrible. We know from the last war, those people, nebuch, the Kedoshim, who were starving in the hand of the Germany, Marshman Bezichon. What kind of tzores that was when they had nothing to eat. They had nothing to appease their hunger with. Hunger. But when you know there is a meal ready for you, then hunger is good. Don't worry. Don't worry about the bad thoughts, the dark thoughts that assail you. Because the more you'll have them, the more you'll appreciate the answer. The more you will call for help from the Rebbeinu Shalom. And once you call for his help, he's here. Straight on. As soon as we call him. Korei v'Hashem l'chol koiriyov. My child, you call me, I'm here. Straight away. Before we finish our prayer. Terim yikro v'ani'eni. And first and foremost, he's here. In our mind, he's here. Because we call him for help. The trouble is, when we don't call him for help. That is what it means. Me'ayin yovo yezri. That even someone like Yaakov Avinu was a great Baal Bitochen. Don't think that he was always at the top. It was always tranquil and worryless. No. He had downs and ups. But what he was doing was, like we have hunger, yes, hopefully 3 times a day, for breakfast, for lunch, and for the evening dinner. The same, and it's quite natural, it's a natural process. So it is also with dark thoughts about the future. Once we cannot avoid them. That is a normal part of our life. The only thing is, there should be an outcome. There should be something to satisfy, to calm you down. Yes, it is true. Yes, it might happen to you. Yes, quite right. But we have a Rebbeinu Shalom. We have a protector. In Eloyonum v'lo yishon Shemei Israel. He is always with us. Ki ma'alochov yitzaveloch lishmocho b'chol derochecho. This is also in the Midrash here. Ki ma'alochov yitzaveloch. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you ma'alochim. We know Yaakov Avinu was together with ma'alochim Those malachim who were accompanying him in Eretz Yisrael, they went up again to heaven. Other malachim came down to accompany him in שוורץ. So although we are in שוורץ, we still have malachim. Okay, they're not the same caliber as the malachim in Eretz Yisrael, but we still have malachim. It's good. For שוורץ, it's good enough. And Rabbi Meir says, you do a mitzvah, you create one malach. And that malach goes with you. Wherever you go, the malach goes with you. You do 2 mitzvahs, you get 2 malachim, 2 guardian angels. And an angel is something, it's not a policeman. If we would have a policeman on our side all the time, you know. Policeman, 2 policemen. 1 in front, 1 in the back. 10! How would we feel when we go in the street? We would be very tranquil. Let's say, well, what can a policeman do? We know that President Kennedy, when he was shot, he had a whole motorcade of policemen going in front. Well, what could they help him? Yeah? But a bullet is no problem for a malach. It just does like this, flick, but the bullet goes on the side. And it's not one malach. It's not one malach. It's all the mitzvahs we are doing. We make a bracha. We make netilas yadayim. We give tzedakah. We say a good word. We daven. Can we count all the mitzvahs we are doing during the day? Can we count them? Thousands and thousands. When we read Tehillim, each word is a mitzvah, is a malach. You read a kapitel Tehillim, how many malachim? And those malachim don't go back to heaven. They are here with you to protect you. Ki malachov yitzhaveloch. But you have to be aware of it. That is part of bitachon. So whenever you've got a worry, it's normal. I said to that lady, it's normal. She was crying in front of me, Mom. She was crying. I told her, do not try to escape those thoughts. Just when they come, just say to yourself, okay, fine. Yes, chas v'sholom tiftach belesoten. It might happen, but it will not happen because the Rebbeinu Shel Olam protects me. And then you'll appreciate how much you need him. You'll appreciate how much you need his help. And when we appreciate how much we need his help, then all our mitzvahs will have a different strength. We'll be so careful not to push him away from us. Not to speak evil. Not to fall into arrogance. Not to be haughty on people, because we know Toyavas Hashem kol gevar leiv, because we know that the one who is haughty is being rejected from the Rebbeinu Shel Olam, and we need his help. We don't need to be rejected. We need his help, very much so. So these hunger pangs, that is the base of our Yiras Hashem. It's not negative. You have to use them. Don't try to push them away. Don't try to block your ears or shut your eyes or take pills to calm your thoughts and to fall into oblivion. Those are killing pills, not painkillings. Because those thoughts, those dark thoughts, that is the springing board, that is the hunger, the appetite to call for help from them. And when we call for help, he's here. It's not when we call the telephone a big gvir for help. The secretary says he's not there. He's there, but he says, who is calling him? Meshulach. Tell him I'm not there. But the Rebbeinu Shel Olam, he's always there. He was always here. He's waiting for us. No problem. I'm here to help you. I have everything in the world under my hand to give to you. I just want you to call me. That's all. And maybe that's what Chazal want to say. Now you see the difference between Lavan and Yaakov. Lavan had the same question. I need money. Where shall I get the money from? So when he saw his sister Rivka with rings, a small child, 3 years old, with rings on the ears, on the nose, on everywhere. From where did you get all this gold? There's a man there on the well with 10 camels. Oh, he rushed there. He rushed there. It's a gold mine. Come. We throw all the avodah zarah out. Just bring in all the gold into the house. No problem of shidduch. Lavan wanted to become rich. And even Yankov, when he came, he said, it's not possible. He has no camels, no gold. So he looked inside his mouth, inside his mouth. He embraced him to see maybe he had some hidden pockets somewhere to touch him all around to see if he had some hidden money. Lavan also had. And then when he saw that the bracha which Yankov brought him and all the steps started growing, multiplying in an unnatural way, he tried to squeeze him out as much as he could, swindle him with his daughters so that he should work another 7 years. And then for another 6 years, he also tried to squeeze him out like a lemon. Lavan had a big problem. He wanted to become rich. But which way? By swindlery. Even for the chassan meal, the Midrash says that he didn't pay a penny from his pocket. You know the story. He went to the people of his town and he said, this tzaddik Yankov, since he came here, he got plenty of water, because before we didn't have water, we had a drought. And since he came, all the oves, when they came to a place, there was water. The water came up from the well. So do you want him to stay another 7 years? Because if I give him rochel straight away, he'll take rochel and go away. So if you want him to stay another 7 years so they should have plenty of water, I can swindle him. Do you agree to that? I'll give him Leah, and Rochel, he'll still have to work another 7 years. And Derval, you'll have another 7 years of plenty of water. He said, of course. He said, don't tell the secret. How will I believe you that you don't tell the secret? Each one gives me a mashkin. 2 gold bracelet, each one. So they were very happy. They gave him 2 gold bracelets. With those, he had about 1,000 gold bracelets. He went to the butcher, to the grocery. He said, here's the money. You give me all the thing, make me a beautiful suda. And with that, he made a suda for Leah. And then when the people came to ask him for the gold, which they gave him, he said, go and ask the butcher. They went to ask the butcher. The butcher said, well, you pay me the meat. That's how Lavan made the chasane. See, we have to break our head how to make a chasane meal. We have to borrow money. We have to borrow money in order to make a chasane meal. Well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us not to borrow money for that. But never mind. But Lavan, he had tricks. He was a wonderful swindler. But I ended this wonderful stint. So, I ended when he came in, after Yankov, to get back all the intended. What he intended? He intended to get back all the sheep which Yankov was taking with him. If not, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He said, "What do you say? You have earned honestly all those sheep. Abono is benosai, ve'atzoin tzoini. Your wives are my daughters." And the flocks you have with you, these are mine. And all what your wealth you see, lihu. He still believes it belongs to him. And he would have no qualm whatsoever to take it back, in which way he could. If not, the Kadosh Baruch Hu intervened to protect Yaakov Avinu. And while he was doing all this Medrash says, during that time, he had the burglars dancing in his house, making a nice katzmach party there. And they emptied all his house while he was trying to recuperate the money of. And when he came back home, he had a nice surprise to see everything was empty. All his house had been emptied by him. That's the Midrash. Ohura Gever. We see those 2 people, opposites. We all start with the same question. I need money. From where? And we have got a Lavan with swindles, who tries to get the money of others with cheating and lying and tricking and doing breaking the law. And we have got on the other side, we've got this the Yaakov Ishtam, Yeshev Ohalim. What is the difference? In what is the difference? The difference is in the teretz, not in the kashi. The kashi, we all have the same kashi. Me'ayin yovo yezri. From where shall my help come? The only answer is in the teretz. What is going to be the answer to that question? And here there's a split between Or HaGever, Asher Yiftach Bo'odom, cursed is man who puts his trust in man, and then we have it on the other side, Baruch HaGever, Asher Yiftach B'Shem. Baruch HaGever, Asher Yiftach B'Shem. There has never been a failure in that posuk. If that posuk is applied properly, if a person is honestly and sincerely, Boiteach B'Shem, he calls for HaKadosh Baruch Hu for help, and he does what is asked from him, Al Pi Torah, according to the Torah, what he has to do, and the rest is in the hands of Hashem Yisborach, and he can sleep ruhig. He can go and have a sweet. He is not bothered about in his sleep nightmares, no worries afterwards. All the worries go away. But it doesn't mean he will not have to the next morning to do a neder. The worries start again, and he has to make a neder. And then again and again, Chazal tell us that what was he doing in the nights when he was sleeping with